Hi, welcome back. My name is Zeta Zane with Smart Pathways, an educational and technological product developer. Thank you for joining back in. On our last video, we talked about one of the huge missing components within the immigration community, within the immigration reform is the educational piece. When we think about an industry, any industry that's out there, every industry that we know, there's some level of training. There's books that's easily accessible that anyone at a ground level can access them. You don't have to have a high degree, a terminal degree, or law degree, or medical degree in order to do certain things that every average everyday Americans, immigrants, should be able to access for most industries. However, this doesn't exist with the immigration industry anywhere. So with my discovery of learning, once I was able to do a lot of research online, I'm searching every site that I possibly could to try to find, where can I find information to help, do these immigration applications or learn how to do them. I just kept hitting dead ends, and there was a lot of different information over here, over there, and everything was a little bit different. So what I was able to find wasn't consistent either. So with that being said, one, there is no educational foundation for the immigration community, and that's what I learned, and that's what terrified me. Why is that dangerous? It's because if these applications aren't done well, if they're not done correctly, the consequences for immigrants could be devastating. It could be devastating for a family to not be able to understand it, to not be able to afford an attorney, to not have access to be able to walk into an immigration consulting firm and just get fair and affordable application services. It's dangerous, and it's irresponsible for states to have license that have no training for this particular type of application. If I'm to get, as a real estate agent, if I'm to get a contract wrong for whatever reason, the worst that could happen to my client is that maybe they can't buy the home, or they may lose their earnest deposit. They won't be expelled from the country. That's different. They won't be expelled from the country and their family be ripped apart to where their son, daughter, mother, aunt, uncle is kicked out of the country and potentially for 10 years before they can even apply it again, if they're able to apply. So dangerous. Now let's talk about the other piece that I was able to find. So I stumbled across the term, immigration consultant, and at that time I had never heard of that. I didn't know that you can actually get a license to do it. And so what I learned is that yes, there are, and most states offer it. So I was sort of elated and wanted to find out a little bit more about it. So I called the Secretary of State and I was like, hi, I wanted to know how I can become a consultant. I see there's a license for it. I read the rules. But I asked her, specifically, well, how do I learn how to do these applications? I don't, if I get them wrong, it could be, the consequences for my client could be high, but I could also get sued if I don't know what I'm doing. And, is there any education that's required for this license? And her exact answer was, you're on your own. Dangerous. So that's when it really hit me. Okay. There is literally nothing on the ground. There's not a book. There's not a training manual. There's not a textbook. There's not a course that's centralized where I could learn how to do this in a meaningful way. And it did take me aback a bit because I had to make a decision on how I was going to move forward. So for this particular video series, I'm talking about that there is a license. There is a license to help, and it's through the state. And however, there's no education that's provided or required. Even worse, there's no organized oversight, which is, again, dangerous. And it allows immigrants or even Americans that want to travel overseas for whatever reason not to get help from trained, qualified, licensed consultants on the ground. And I'm just talking about this one piece. When I talk about the educational component, and in another video, I'm going to talk about the layers and how we can build on that, but what doesn't exist right now. So let's start with what immigrants have to be in this country, which are legal documents so that they can have legal status. And I want everyone that's watching this video, politician, activist, human rights, Peace Corps, it doesn't matter what organization that you sit with. I want you to let this sink through your head, is that how in the world can we offer immigrants to stay here? And we're going to hear their stories. We're going to hear their stories about how hard it is for them. And I have not been able to successfully speak with an immigrant without, bursting out into tears about how hard it is to do these applications. So, and what they would want, what would have made their life a little bit easier on top of the load that they already have to carry. So, again, no educational foundation for this industry, which is dangerous. But there is a license, which means that the state at least recognizes that there's a need. But now let's add this layer of protection, which teaching people how to do this license. More importantly, teach about immigration in this country, not just doing a license. I found that there was more than that. So in my next video, I'm going to talk to you about my pathway to creating this educational component, which can give birth to something absolutely astonishing to set this industry on fire, to make it build and grow, and create an additional commerce to the United States economy. Join me in my next video. Thanks so much.